It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America and around the planet. Earth, that is. He is Eric Harley and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning.
Yeah, this planet.
All right, so where are we right now? Who are we? Why are we here? And what is our purpose? The debate done. Will anybody be talking about it Monday? Now, you brought up the point that on Sunday, the Sunday morning news shows may say, okay, what came out of it? But if
as an obligation, yeah.
Right, as an obligation. Well,
they kind of have to cover it.
It's a news story you've got to cover, right? I mean, there is a presidential campaign that is going on. But let's look at yesterday. We go to this is CNN. And hold it, is this the one? Is this the one that I want? Oh, wait a minute. No, this is not the one that I was looking for. Yeah, here it is. Okay. This is CNN yesterday. This is Jake Tapper.
Okay.
Vice President Harris began the debate by punting the first question on the economy.
Do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid. And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America.
It went on from there. Despite the economy being the #1 issue facing the country, the sitting vice president generally reverted to talking points about a few of her policy proposals. Even Harris allies today are saying that she needs to talk more about what she will do for Americans if elected. Senator Bernie Sanders will be here in a second to talk about more about the need for her to fill in some of those blanks. On the border, another vulnerable issue for Harris, she also dodged.
Would you have done anything differently from President Biden on this?
So I'm the only person on this stage who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings.
Okay, that wasn't the question. When asked how she would break through the Israel-Hamas war stalemate, Harris said this.
We need a ceasefire deal, and we need the hostages out. And so we will continue to work around the clock on that.
Okay, but again, how?
There's Jake Tapper. I want to get to here's Major Garrett yesterday on CBS talking about the voters that he was talking to in Michigan, I believe this was. Here we go.
Okay. All right.
And so I talked to 20 voters. Not one of them was undecided.
Wow.
Not one.
Not one. And headlines come and go, but let me tell you this. Support for former President Trump is real and resilient. I encounter that everywhere I went. And that's something the Harris campaign knows, recognizes, the fact in Michigan.
Then this is, I want to get to the part where they, this is Major Garrett talking to this one woman, talking to a couple of people, but it's really the woman that he talked to. And this is on CBS. This is on CBS morning.
Okay.
So this is what people are seeing in the mainstream media, which gives you an indication of where this is all going. Here we go.
For this election, would you say your mind is made up?
Yes.
And that is?
Trump.
Okay. Are you a previous Trump supporter?
The first year he won in 2016, I was not.
Did you vote for Hillary?
I did vote for Hillary, but
Okay.
I cried when she did not win.
Okay. Then what happened?
And then I just felt like he did a good job. I liked the fact that he was not a politician.
You believe you were better off 4 years ago?
Oh, absolutely. Small business owner Andrew Singrati backs Trump, too.
There you go. And so that's on CBS and the mainstream media, except really for MSNBC, which, again, does not have a big audience at all. When you look at it, when you look at the New York Times headline that we brought you earlier that said, pundits say Harris, won the debate big time. Undecided voters aren't saying the same thing.
No, right.
And it's something that you and I brought up yesterday. So where's the campaign today? You can sit there. If you're going to go after Trump, what do you go after Trump for? Tell me, it's what we stated yesterday when we got on the air, right after the debate. We said, all right, these initial polls and pundits on the right and the left are saying Harris won. Harris won, Harris won, Harris won.
Yeah.
And we asked the question, on what issue? What issue?
Right.
Where do you attack Trump right now? Where's the attack on Trump? that hasn't already been fully vetted by the entire population. One of the things that we found interesting was when you saw all of the interviews that we have seen from independent, undecided, nobody mentions January 6th.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
Nobody mentions, as we know, the who's going to protect democracy. Nobody talks about Project 2025. The reason we bring that up is, for example, we had the one Democrat caller yesterday when we asked the question, what major issue that Americans are really concerned about that's driving this election, which one of those did she win on? And it was the talking points of this Democrat called and said that. We said, well, we understand, you're claiming you're an independent, but you're not.
By the way, he included preserving democracy when he was clearly going to vote for the person who didn't earn one vote to get the nomination for the Democratic Party.
And then he said the whole thing, uniting the people. But that's all BS. I mean, we've been thrown that BS for such a long time.
Trump is the great uniter, as we pointed out. Go back and listen to the podcast.
Yes, Trump is the great uniter because how do we know this? Because all of his major positions, apparently now, Harris holds.
She wants to be more like him on those key positions. Ask her about it, not us. He's the great uniter.
But what you have again is after this incredible superficial win, because we still don't know what issue she won on.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like, well, what was the difference? Well, she was able to complete a couple of sentences.
Right. She outperformed Kamala Harris.
Right.
Or our expectations of Kamala Harris. Yeah.
And so you say, where does it go from here? Because
Right.
now we're here at, we got today, we got tomorrow, and it's like, we got the weekend. Right now, there is not another debate scheduled.
No.
There is a debate scheduled with Vance.
Yep.
I don't think Vance is going to blow that one. I don't believe that Vance is a Paul Ryan going up against Biden.
No.
I
don't.
In 2012.
I look forward to this debate.
And so where do they go? Where does this campaign go from here? For the Trump campaign, keep putting out the commercials. Oh, I did hear on a streaming channel, I did hear finally a Harris campaign ad.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it was that Donald Trump's going to raise your taxes. Donald Trump's going to raise your taxes.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a national sales tax. It's going to be this, and everybody's going to be taxed. You're going to be taxed. And I'm like, nobody's going to buy that ad.
No.
Now, but the difference I saw was she was saying the words. The Trump ads, you hardly hear Trump speak at all.
Right.
In so many of the Trump ads, it's just her speaking.
That's a great point. We talked about playing them in their own words for years. Republicans can get away with this. The ads are already built for you. Well, basically, all you have to do is put the audio or video together of them in their own words. And then at the end, you do, the legalese and I approve this message. She's actually the one having to make the claim in her ads, at least the one you heard.
Yeah, and again, I haven't heard all the ads, but I just thought that was interesting that was an ad out there, which was her talking about everything. It wasn't anybody else. It wasn't like even a reference to, some anchor saying it. Trump's going to raise taxes. It was her basically in a 30-second monologue about what Trump was going to do. And I went, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, what issue is the media hitting Trump on? Is the media that disagrees with Trump, what are they hitting him on? The only thing you really got was what? Cats and... cats.
I think that was pretty much it.
Cats is really... All that you got yesterday was really the cat. Well, it was inaccurate on the cats. Nobody gives a damn.
Right.
Nobody cares.
Most people were going, what is even what's the story about the cats? Many people were learning.
Yeah.
I mean, on the broader level, we know our audience was aware of the story, and it was all over social media, but millions of people watching that were going, what are they even talking about?
Yeah, my dad and my sister had no idea. What was the cat thing about?
Right.
They had no idea. They were They asked me about it. You also saw that Fox News was doing the thing where they had a number of conservatives, independents, and liberals that were watching along with it. And what do you call it when they do that? When they
The real-time metrics.
Yeah, yes, the real-time metrics.
Right.
And they were blown away. Everybody was blown away how independents were actually on the same curve as Republicans. It was amazing to watch that in action. You can go back. There's there's video on it where you can look at it on things like immigration, the economy. And so those are the two things. And so you look at this right now where we're a little under 60 days out from this election. Who has to change? Trump doesn't have to change anything. Trump just has to stay on topic.
Right.
That's all he has to do. And even after the debate, he might not even have to do that.
Yeah. Right.
You and I said this. We're both on vacation. We're thinking at the same. We had previewed it before we went on vacation last week because that's when you heard, Biden's going to go out on the campaign trail with her. And you and I think it was the Friday before we left, and we went, she's in trouble. Her internal polls have to show that she's in trouble. There's no way you bring Biden out on the campaign trail with you. He was out for a couple of days, mumbling and stumbling and bumbling, and I'm like, this is horrible. Why are they doing it? And it's like, because they don't know what else to do. They are completely lost. This is what happens. This was bound to happen. And I think that this is a benchmark in modern American politics that you and I said was coming. And is this the beginning of it? Where you have independents not falling for, well, she's a black woman. I don't care. Can she get the job done?
Right.
And independents are saying that and saying, she's not answering the questions. You need to answer the question. They're not buying into the type of Obama hype that you saw before, or even the Hillary hype. It's her time. Right. It's her time, which meant it's time for the woman to do it.
Right.
Because what you had is what we said was coming for the longest time, and we said has hit a couple of years ago with inflation. People have finally figured out that government policy is no longer hypothetical. It's hit reality, and the government spending has caused the massive inflation that we have seen today. They recognize it. They're looking for solutions. They don't want to be talked to like children. They don't want to adore you. They don't want to make you a deity. They don't care now. You've actually got people, independents have been interviewed to go, I can't stand Trump, but he did a better job. All of a sudden, meritocracy is coming to the presidency.
Well, think about it. If you think about where DEI just basically hit a wall, if you think about the idea of let's focus only on identity, and that basically has been the focus of the Democratic Party. Identity politics has been their thing up until now. And where are we as a nation? Reality says we want the best people for the job. Male, female, black, white, we want the best people for the job. That's where reality is. We want an individual who's capable. And you see it across the board. People are looking at it saying, we need to fix it. We need somebody who can come in with the solutions to fix this. I think it's not just what you heard from Jake Tapper here just a moment ago. Well, she needs to be more specific. No, because she's carrying around the anchor that is Joe Biden. She's part of the current administration. She can't fix it because she helped to cause it. And people know this. They know she can't and won't fix it. I was telling you during the break, during an earlier break, we may be, and I don't know if, we don't make predictions, but we have the makings possibly of one of the biggest in modern political history, one of the biggest moments of the silent majority. And the reason I say that is because of so much of the toxicity being gone on Donald Trump. Not all of it, but most of it is gone. And yet you still can't say it out loud to your friends. Oh, no. I'm voting for her. I'm voting for her. But when you get in that booth and you're looking down and you go, man, I really want somebody who can fix this. And I know the economy was better. And I'm just going to do this one thing. I'm just going to do this one thing. I just wonder if that would be, how much that would be in play. There might be a couple of people, or it might be a lot more than a couple of people, because what are we hearing? You heard the person earlier. She said she cried the morning after Hillary lost. She voted for Hillary in 2016, but she supports Trump now.
And she, not only did she vote for Hillary, this is the important part, as you brought up, not only did she vote for Hillary,
she cried.
She cried
the morning after. She didn't have to say that, by the way.
Right, yeah.
She could have said, I was greatly disappointed that she lost. I was really upset. No, she said, I cried the morning after. Well, how many people are in that boat right now and go, look, I can't say anything to my family and friends. I don't dare say I'm voting for him, but I'm voting for him.
So what happens from now? Trump doesn't have to do anything. On the issues, Trump doesn't have to do it.
I said he's got that luxury right now.
He doesn't have to do anything except keep promoting the exact same thing.
That's it. Keep going.
Now, we'll talk about this next. Mm-hmm. What about Harris? 866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by Howes Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Fire and forest officials were hoping this year's wildfire season would be perhaps less active and shorter than recent years. However,
we continue to have significant weather events and new fire starts.
U.S. Forest Service Chief Randy Moore telling reporters this week that we have seen fewer fires this year, but they have burned more acres, almost 7 million so far. And
the outlook for the short term is not favorable.
USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey.
We have a windy cold front moving into the northwest. That is likely to create later this week conditions that are primed for additional wildfire expansion and development, and that could lead to a couple of tough days for firefighters.
Roughly 23,000 people are currently fighting wildfires across the country. Gary Crawford reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
It's Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. So we had played a number of pieces of audio from CNN where they're saying Jake Tapper. We just played a little while ago. In fact, we played more than that, but just Jake Tapper recently saying Bernie Sanders is going to come on to say why she needs to be more specific about the things that she's going to do. The problem is Trump doesn't have to change anything.
No,
because if you saw yesterday, and I was just looking at one audio cut of CNN yesterday, the only thing they got about Trump, the only thing they brought up is the cat stuff. Well, the cat story, nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares about it.
Nobody cares.
Trump said it on the stage. He goes, look, I'm an open book. Right. And that was a key moment, too. She's anything but an open book.
Right. So the fact is the independents, no independents at all have said, well, I was going to vote for Trump. I was leaning towards Trump, but it was the cat thing that changed me.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about what Harris, what she has to do or what she has to do but can't do.
Yeah, right.
On our website, redeyeradioshow.com. Show info with stations, podcasts, and more. Red Eye Radio.
And he's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Download our Red Eye Radio app today, and you can listen when and where you choose. I was wrong. There were two questions the mainstream media was asking the Trump campaign yesterday.
Okay.
One was the cat story.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was, yeah, but the Democrats now have the endorsement of Taylor Swift. I'm not kidding. Actually, got asked on CNN to J.D. Vance. Yeah. Here's J.D. Vance's response.
Well, look, we admire Taylor Swift's music, but I don't think most Americans, whether they like her music or fans of hers or not, are going to be influenced by a billionaire celebrity who I think is fundamentally disconnected from the interests and the problems of most Americans. Look, when grocery prices go up by 20%, it hurts most Americans. It doesn't hurt Taylor Swift. When housing prices become unaffordable, it doesn't affect Taylor Swift or any other billionaire. It does affect middle-class Americans all over our country. And well,
by the way, that was asked by Fox News. I just listen to the beginning of it again. Here's where I would vehemently disagree with if this is the official opinion of the Trump campaign. Here, you know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Yeah, because I disagreed too. Go ahead.
Here we go.
Well, look, we admire Taylor Swift's music, but
okay, we're ending it right there.
Whoa! I have to reconsider my support for the Trump Vance ticket now.
If you want my...
This is how it's going to be.
I'm not going to get into specific details, but if you want my opinion of Taylor Swift's music, you remember the scene when Wayne and Garth were walking up to the bar, and they asked Meatloaf who the bands were playing and whether the blank Beatles were a good band.
Yeah.
The response from Meatloaf, I forgot his character's name, is the bouncer at the bar, is my response to Taylor Swift's music.
Yeah.
By the way, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, I've actually, because I really never paid attention, and I've seen some of her concert footage, and it's some of the, I can't believe for the big stage production that it is, how bad the music is.
Something came up, and I don't remember why it came up in a news story, and it played, and it was about 10, 15 seconds, and I stopped it going, no. Someone did something. This is AI audio over her actual music.
I know.
That can't be her music.
I was amazed. Because I don't pay attention to much pop stars. So I saw it on YouTube. It was like, this is a great sounding. I go, well, okay, let me watch this for a couple of seconds. There are musicians I don't like, but, that person I don't like their music, but I can go, wow, what a great show. And their music is solid.
Well,
for example, Michael Jackson, I never bought a Michael Jackson record in my life. And you're the one that told me you went to see the Jackson 5 one time, right?
No, it was Michael.
Was it Michael?
February 89. It was night 2 of the opening of his Bad tour in Kansas City.
Well, it was one where the Jacksons were all together. I think it was 83, 84. I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
And so the best live show I've ever seen, without a doubt. I mean, 3 hours of, oh, wow.
Yes.
I don't know the guy personally. I don't know about any of the accusations that were made against him, but yeah, it was unreal to witness.
Yeah, so I can not listen to the music and walk in. I can't think of his name now. I've got mind blank here. Just can't think of it.
Justin Bieber.
No. Oh, I can't.
I heard somebody say, try and make the case. Oh man, Justin Bieber shows though they're really good. As a comedian going, no, seriously, they're good. And I'm like, all right, if you're into it, I guess go ahead.
Oh, I did. Luther Vandross.
Oh,
yeah. Now Luther. Yeah. Now I'd hear the music. Like, okay, it's okay. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah. I saw Luther Vandross live, and it was funny because my girlfriend at the time, I wanted to go see Gallagher. So this is in the late '80s.
Yeah,
I said I got to go see Gallagher, the comedian.
Yeah,
and she said, okay. I'll go with you, but you have to go to Luther Vandross with me. And I'm like, I don't want to go to see Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
Right? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable show. Unbelievable show.
A friend of mine was the radio voice for his commercials forever. Luther put all of his children through college.
Well, and the point is, and that really doesn't mean anything whether I like, because the dumbest thing you can do that we humans do is what I just started, which was
she's made $1 billion at it, so somebody likes it,
right? But the dumbest thing that you really can do is argue music,
right?
Because it's like people like what they like,
right?
And so we really don't do it. But I mean, it's just there's so much hype and hoopla over her. But the fact is that was on Fox, not CNN. Why are they even asking that question?
Right?
Why is that question being asked? What and why is the mainstream media all over it? Because they have nothing else.
It was honestly, for me, it was kind of a laughable story. And by the way, because she was the last really endorsement, she waited so long to endorse Kamala Harris, and I mean, even the Obamas only waited a few days. But when you look at it, it is so insignificant. But when you have nothing. When the campaign really, it's a Seinfeld campaign. It's a campaign about nothing. Then you just got to go with the story that actually made news, but really made news for no significant reason. It's about one person. One person said she's going to vote for Kamala Harris.
I mean, it's just, it's the dumbest thing and there's this false analogy that she's going to make a huge difference. That's what they base it on.
Right.
Well, she has so many, it doesn't matter.
She has a strong female following. Yeah. Okay. And how many of those females are buying groceries for their kids, are paying for back to school?
Yeah. Like J.D. Vance said.
How many, by the way, how many of them live a life like Taylor Swift?
When you look at it, though, when you look at the two things that were brought up, one is the cat that the independents don't care about. The other is Taylor Swift. Independents could care less about it. Right. They're worried about, as we have seen now over the last 36 hours, and I'm happy to see this. I don't know where it goes, but I'm happy to see it, that you have the undecided independents that say, I need specifics about what she's going to do. And so what you have is Trump, who doesn't have to justify anything anymore.
Right.
Trump doesn't have to go out and justify anything of where he stands. January 6th doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
The lawfare, the lawfare matters to people that want to vote for Trump.
Yeah. The people that are already there.
But the whole thing about him being, a felon, whatever, not a part of this campaign.
Right.
It's not a part. All of these have already been priced in. Everything has been priced in. Everyone knows who Trump is. Trump doesn't have to do, he's going to do campaigning, by the way, going to Long Island, and it's like, why are you spending money in Long Island? Do you actually believe that New York is in play? Are your internals showing it? When she brought Biden on the campaign trail last week, you and I had said briefly, something's going on here. Maybe it's just a brief thing. Who knows? Maybe there's some infighting going on and they just want to bring him out, whatever. But he was out for a couple of days. He was at a few rallies and he was horrible, absolutely horrible. But for her to bring him out, when they're the one, they forced him out because they said, you stink. That's what the Democrats told Biden. You stink. You can't win. They didn't force him out because of his cognitive problems.
They separated them by 72 hours at the convention for a reason.
Right. And so it's like we said at that point, what in the world are the internals showing? What is, for example, Nate Silverstein? That his, even you saw afterwards, after he goes, not really much of a change. Trump still with the huge lead of how he's figuring it out. Rasmussen. Rasmussen.
We just want to get it right.
Somebody wrote me the other day, said, we're from Minnesota. Here's how you say it. And it was great. But 5 points, the daily poll, Trump up by 5 points yesterday. Trump doesn't have to do anything except promoting exactly what he has promoted before. He doesn't have, by the way, he doesn't do another debate. He doesn't need to do it.
I don't think he needs to do it. I said this yesterday because I said it in the pre-show meeting, so an hour or two after the debate ended, that I don't think he needs to do another debate. And the reason is because it right now, it is about her. She's going to have to define herself. And again, we want Trump to, position her as, the the way he did, she's lying about being pro-border security and pro-fracking and all these things and all this, and she's only going to cause more damage and everything else. And we believe, and we broke it down. We had the audio where he made the good points during the debate. But even if he does the best job that nobody could possibly imagine he could ever do, it gets down to convincibility. And really, she's the one that has to convince the independent voter that she's going to fix this. And I don't think she can do it.
How does she do it? How does she do it? Nobody buys. Well, the fact is, I have to say this because I believe to conservatives it matters when she says, basically, the whole gun owner thing and tried to make it sound as if she's as pro-Second Amendment as Trump and on the border. But I won't go to the border yet because the gun issue, think about this, the gun issue isn't an issue to the independents.
Right.
It's not an issue.
Right.
And that doesn't matter at all. The things that matter to them, what we have seen over the last 36 hours, and the polls are still the same, it's the economy, inflation, and the border. And Trump leads that by huge margins. She has not been able to convince, because the one thing that she did right out of the gate is those ads talking about how much tougher she's going to be on the border. Mm-hmm. Those have failed miserably, and you have to believe that many independents are saying, why is she lying about this? We know where she stands on it. Mm-hmm. And so where does she go? Where does she go? And I'm not... It's not a rhetorical question. It's a legitimate question. Where does she go? Where can she position herself now? She's already taken, all the positions. And by the way, Biden putting on the Trump hat yesterday was the best thing ever because after Trump had said the day before, I was going to give her a MAGA hat. Next thing you know, Biden the next day is wearing a MAGA hat. I mean, was like mind-blowing. And they're taking the pictures going, look, even Biden, they're going to post that everywhere.
Oh,
see,
yeah.
Even Biden is
It was
for Trump.
everywhere.
It's just bizarre. But where does she go? She's the one that has to change. Where does she change? Because the independent has not, and you look at all the different polls out there, she's not moving the polls in her direction from flip-flopping on all these issues. So if she can't get them from flip-flopping, she can't get there by flip-flopping back.
Right.
Yeah, right.
You can't
flip-flop flip.
Right, exactly.
She can't. So where does she go? I don't know where she goes. I have no idea where she goes. It's not going to help her, I don't believe now, to do any interviews.
No,
because she has to give an answer of substance. What is it?
If I were advising her, honestly, I would say, listen, don't do any interviews after the debate. I don't even know that you need to do another debate. Don't do any interviews. You only do campaign stops. You only do your advertising. That's it.
Well, I would say this is, and may not make sense to some people, but she has to try. She's not, if she just does the rallies, she doesn't go anywhere. Right now, where the polls are, if she just does the rallies, and people
because they don't make news,
and people have the same opinion of her as she has right now, she doesn't win. She's got to find a way to convince people that she's really going to cut taxes. I don't think she can do it. She hasn't been able to convince people that she can close the border.
Yeah.
Nobody buys. She's lost that completely on it. And after the debate yesterday, that supposedly she won by landslide numbers in the Dr. Phil focus group, she got killed on people thinking that she's going to do something on the border, and that was, again, independence. And on the economy, on the CNN poll that had her winning the debate 63-37, she's now 20 points behind on the economy. She was down by 16 before the debate.
Right. And by the way, to our caller yesterday, again, the great uniter, Trump, even Joe Biden agrees. He's wearing the hat. Nobody forced him to do that.
866-90 Red Eye.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. I go back to this. The election is about issues here. I think it's clear where you're seeing in the polling the last 36 hours. I think from the independents that have been interviewed and what independents say, they want to know what the specifics of what she's going to do. If imagery is gone from independents right now, that's a huge boost for Trump. But as I said yesterday, and I'll say it again today, if she won the debate, what issue did she win it on?
Right. Exactly.
And there's not any issue she won it
right.
on. That's the problem for Harris.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.